Kulgara, in a land of myth and a time of magic, the destiny of a great kingdom rests on the shoulders of a young boy, his name, Merlin. The night, Camelot's catacombs, men dig the stone and discover a secret room. King's palace, Arthur's chambers, night. Arthur is awakened by the infernal noise of the pickaxes. Arthur, Merlin, 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 yes, sire. Arthur, are you deaf? Merlin, I wish. Arthur, I want you to go down there and tell him to stop. Merlin, but they're working under the king's orders. Arthur, yes, and you're working under mine. Merlin leaves the room and descends into the catacombs. King's palace, Cornelius Sigan's tomb, night. The pickers enter a treasure room. One of the men is killed by a protective mechanism of the room. The others run away. Merlin, in turn, enters the vast room and sees the man on his knees. Merlin, hello? Merlin touches his shoulder and the body collapses. King's palace, Cornelius Sigan's tomb, night. Merlin, how do you think he died? Gaius. Gaius. Merlin, do you know whose tomb it is? Gaius. Not sure. Merlin, do you think it might be cursed? Gaius steps on a trap. A stone bird shoots a dart at Gaius. Merlin magics a plate between the dart and Gaius. Gaius, you just saved my life. Thank you. Merlin hears Uther and drops the plate. It rolls towards Uther's feet. Uther, guarded at all times, to Merlin, idiot. Arthur, were you born clumsy or do you work at it? Merlin, it's just one of my many gifts. Uther, well, this is quite a find. You see, Gaius, I was right. There is treasure to be found under Camelot. Which of my predecessors do I have to thank for all this? Gaius. Gaius, I'd have to look into it, sire. Uther, how did he die? Gaius, he seems to have unwittingly triggered a trap here. Arthur, to deter grave robbers. Uther, well, there's plenty in here people would want to steal. Have them secure the tomb. Guarding it is your responsibility, Arthur. Arthur, yes, father. Lower Town, tavern, night. Cedric, so this jewel, what size would you say it was? Tom, about that size. Tom shows him his closed fist as an indication of size. Cedric, my word, really? About that size, you say? Well, I never. Here you are. Drink up. And, this tomb. I bet they got that locked up nice and safe, haven't they? Tom, tighter than the king's coffers. Cedric, yeah. Must be a way in, though. Tom, only with the keys. Cedric, right. And who's got the keys? Tom, you must think I'm stupid. I'm not telling you that. Cedric, handing him a full purse, course not. No, a bright lad like you knows what that sort of information's worth. No, we don't want everyone to see. Believe me, this place is full of thieves and fingersmiths. Put it inside your tunic. And, careful of that fellow over there. Tom, which one? Cedric, far end of the bar. See him? He keeps on watching you. Tom, yeah. With the beard. Cedric, slowly recovering his purse. No, that one. Tom, I got my eye on him. Thank you. Cedric, so who's got the keys? Tom, only the prince. But don't get your hopes up. He keeps them in his private chambers, and there's only one person allowed in there, his servant. King's Palace, Main Square, day. Arthur and Merlin prepare to go hunting. Cedric stares at the scene from afar. Arthur, hurry up, Merlin. Merlin, sorry. Merlin kneels to help Arthur get on his horse. Arthur falls from the horse. Arthur, Merlin, I don't understand. Arthur, well, there's a surprise. Merlin, I did that girth up myself. Arthur, well, I think that might have been the problem. Merlin, It wasn't my fault. Cedric, bringing the horse back. Would you like me to fit the girth properly for you, sire? Arthur, thank you. Cedric, it's an honor to be of service to the prince. Arthur, an honor. Do you hear that, Merlin? Cedric. Allow me the honor of brushing your clothes down. Arthur, whispers to Merlin, the honor. Cedric, anything else I can do for you, sir? Arthur. Well, you can give Merlin here a kick up the backside. Cedric chuckles, I wouldn't wish to deprive you of the pleasure, sir.
Arthur, ha, what's your name? Cedric, Cedric. I've come to Camelot in search of work.
Arthur, good. You can be a beater on the hunt. We're short of a man or two. Cedric, you're too kind, sire. Merlin, here, you'll need a beater. Oh, sorry. Treasure room, Gaius watches the symbols on the grave. Forest, day, Merlin, Cedric, Arthur and the other knights are moving forward. Suddenly a giant creature runs towards the hunters. Cedric scared and walked backwards but tripped. Arthur threw his spear. But it didn't hurt the creature. Merlin see the spear dropped from Cedric. Merlin. Flee, Fag. The spear hit the creature and Merlin saves Arthur. Arthur, who threw that? Cedric, ahum. Arthur. Was it you? You just saved my life. Cedric, honestly, sire, it was nothing. Arthur, I shall be forever indebted to you. You must be rewarded. Cedric, no, I couldn't possibly. Arthur, come on. What do you wish for? Cedric, I desire only one thing, sire. Arthur. Anything. Cedric, a position in the royal household. Arthur, good. Consider it done. Ha ha, Cedric. You can have that back. He give the beater back to Merlin. Merlin, oof. Cedric, oh, sorry. King's palace, physician's chambers. Gaius research meaning of inscriptions that found from Sigan tomb. Merlin enters. Gaius, what's wrong? Merlin, I saved Arthur's life, someone else got the credit. Just the usual. What are you doing? Gaius, I found this inscription on the scepter. Merlin, what language is that? Gaius, I don't know. Sigan would have known many languages. Merlin, Sigan. Gaius, it's his tomb. Merlin. Who's he? Gaius. Merlin, he was the most powerful sorcerer to have lived. Merlin, really? Gaius, you didn't grow up in Camelot, but for those of us that did, Cornelius Sigan was a figure of nightmare. Merlin, why? Gaius, Sigan's powers. He could change day into night, turn the tides, and legend has it, his spells helped build Camelot itself. Merlin, what happened? Gaius, in the end, he grew too powerful and the king at that time ordered his execution. Merlin, if he's dead, why are you so worried? Gaius, Sigan couldn't bear the thought that his wealth and power would die with him, so he became obsessed with finding a way to defeat death itself. Merlin, you think he might have succeeded, Gaius? Let's hope not, for all our sakes. King's palace, council chamber of doom. Uther, Gaius. What is it you want? Gaius, to seal up the burial chamber and all its contents. Uther, don't be ridiculous. Gaius, the insignia on this ring belongs to Cornelius Sigan. I believe it to be his tomb. In the old religion, the name Sigan means raven. Uther, no wonder the riches are so great. Gaius. Then you are aware of the legends, sire, Uther.
Yes, I have always enjoyed the tale of the arrogant sorcerer who came to an untimely end. Gaius, according to the story, Sigan cursed Camelot. He said he would return and raise the city to the ground. Uther, Gaius, you have long been my ally in the war against sorcery. You, more than anyone, should not give in to these irrational fears. Gaius, thank you, sire. Uther, and Gaius, do not spread panic amongst my people. This is foolish superstition, nothing more.
King's palace, Morgana's chambers, night. Morgana is awakened by a nightmare featuring a raven. Morgana, ah, Gwen, 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 my lady, what's the matter? It's all right, it's all right. I'm here, I'm here. There's nothing to be frightened of. Shush, shush, shush. King's palace, Arthur's chambers, day, Arthur. Is that lunch? Merlin, no, it's breakfast. Arthur, this is lovely, Cedric. Merlin, is there anything else that you need doing, sire? Arthur, no, I think Cedric's got it all covered. Cedric, oh, I regret, sire, there is one thing I failed to do. Muck out your horses. Arthur, off you go. Cedric, I'll get the door for you. King's palace, Morgana's chambers, day. Gaius, what was this dream about? Morgana, a bird. Gaius, what kind of bird? Morgana, a raven. Gaius, a raven? Morgana, it was terrifying. Gaius, what do you think it means? Gaius, probably nothing. Morgana, it's happening again, isn't it? Gaius, Morgana, one raven doesn't mean that your nightmares are returning. Are you taking the sleeping draughts I prepared for you? I'll get Gwen to give you something stronger. Morgana, like a blow to the head. I'm sure she wants to. Royal stables, day. Merlin at stables. Cedric throw a smoking metal ball that caused to Merlin falls asleep. Cedric takes the opportunity to release the horses. Cedric, go on, go and have some fun. Go on, go and have some fun. Lower town, horses run through the market. Guard, sire. Arthur watches horses run away from the town, realizing it's Merlin, goes to him. Arthur bends Merlin sleep on a horse's waist. Merlin, sire. Arthur, what are you doing? Merlin, nothing. Arthur, I can see that. Merlin, I wasn't sleeping. I was just bending down. Arthur, looking for something. Merlin, yes. Arthur, perhaps we're looking for the same thing. Merlin, what? Arthur, oh, I don't know. The horses. Merlin, the horses. Oh. Arthur, one mistake I can understand. Everyone has a bad day now and then, but this is one thing after another. Merlin, I don't know what happened. Cedric. Sire. Please, sire, don't be too hard on him. He's a good servant, he's tired. Merlin, I am not. Cedric, maybe if he had the evening off. Merlin, I don't want the evening off. Cedric, a good night's rest. Merlin, I did not fall asleep. Cedric, I'm more than willing to take over his duties tonight. Arthur, perhaps you're right. Merlin, no. Arthur, shut up Merlin. Merlin, can't you see what he's trying to do? He's trying to get rid of me, and if you weren't such a clockpole, you'd see that. Arthur, a what? Cedric, clockpole. He said clockpole. Arthur, Cedric's right. He can look after me tonight. You can go home and think about whether you want to be my servant or not. Merlin, but. Arthur, go. King's palace, physician's chambers. Merlin enters. Gaius, what's that on your face? Merlin, nothing. Gaius, what's wrong? Merlin, nothing. Merlin go to his room and sit on his bed. Gaius comes. Gaius, here. Merlin, I'm not an idiot. Gaius, what happened? Merlin, I just want Arthur to trust me, and to see me for who I really am. Gaius, one day he will. Merlin, when? Everything I do is for him and he just thinks I'm an idiot. Gaius, not everyone thinks you're an idiot. Although, looking at you now is not the time to be questioning these things. Merlin, I believe that you and Arthur are destined for greatness, and that your calling is to serve and protect him. Merlin, it's hard. Gaius, I know it's hard. But Camelot is in grave peril. I've translated the inscription. He who breaks my heart completes my work. Merlin, what does it mean? Gaius, do you remember the stone in the tomb, how it glowed? Merlin, yeah. I've never seen a jewel like it. Gaius, that's because it's not a jewel, it's the soul of Cornelius Sigan. Merlin, you think he's alive? Gaius, his soul is. But in order to truly live, a soul needs a body. Merlin, so, if the stone is removed from its setting, then the heart is broken and the soul released. Gaius, that's what I fear. King's Palace, Arthur's Chambers, night. Cedric, I'll be right outside in the anteroom should you need anything. Arthur, that'll be all, Cedric. As Cedric blow the candle he quietly take the keys to Sigan's tomb. Cedric, sleep well, sire. King's Palace, Cornelius Sigan's tomb, night. Cedric enters the tomb by making guards falls asleep with a smoke. Cedric, as he taking the treasury to his hands. Oh, yes. Oh yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Ha. Hello ladies. Cedric removes the jewel from the grave and Sigan takes possession of him. King's Palace, Cornelius Sigan's tomb, day. Arthur looking at the missing heart-shaped jewel from Sigan's tomb. Arthur, sound the warning bell. He leaves only Gaius and Merlin. Gaius, Merlin, whoever did this got more than they bargained for. Merlin, I don't understand how they got in. The gate's not even damaged. Gaius, they must have used a key. Merlin, Arthur's got the only key. Gaius, where does he keep it? Merlin, on his belt with the others. Gaius, does he ever take it off? Merlin, only when he's asleep. He keeps it next to his bed. Gaius, who had access to his chambers last night? Merlin, just me. And Cedric. Merlin run to Arthur warn him about Cedric. King's Palace, Arthur's Chambers, day. Merlin, Cedric is possessed by an evil spirit. Arthur, what? Merlin, he tried to steal the jewel, but it wasn't a jewel, it was a soul of an ancient sorcerer, Sigan. Arthur, Merlin, have you been on the cider, Merlin? Please, listen to me. Camelot is in mortal danger. Sigan is using Cedric's body to take his revenge. Arthur, this nonsense isn't helping you keep your job. Merlin, you are not listening to me. Arthur, you're going to shout anyway. Cedric, will you escort Merlin from the palace? Merlin throws himself on Cedric. They start to fight. Cedric, Arthur, Merlin, Arthur catches Merlin. Arthur, you've gone too far this time, Merlin. You can spend a few days cooling off in the cells. Guards. At cell, Merlin. He's going to destroy Camelot. King's Palace, battlements, drawbridge, night. Sigan, I am returned. Ik cum eft to Camelot. Swore at ik meg min fair akreken. New, ik libby ek and ik meg raiden min bur. Creatures attack Camelot. They cause havoc in the city, killing many citizens. King's Palace, Council Chamber of Doom. Uther, I don't know what this creature is, where it's come from. Arthur, there's more than one, father. We've had several reports. There's panic in the lower town. People are fleeing the city. Uther, then you must hunt these creatures down and kill them. Arthur, yes, sire. King's Palace, Council Chamber of Doom. Uther, have you seen what's happening? Gaius, it is as I warned you, sire. Uther, this cannot be Sigan. Gaius, it is his revenge, he has come back from the dead. Uther, then he will die again. Gaius, you do not understand, sir. You cannot kill a man who has conquered mortality. Uther, don't tell me what cannot be done. Camelot will not fall to a sorcerer while I'm king. King's palace, dungeons, night, Merlin, screaming. Hello? King's palace, main square, night. Arthur defends the city with his knights. Arthur. Regroup. Low fight. King's palace, dungeons. Merlin, toe spring. Merlin break the cell gate. King's palace, temporary ward. Gaius. We need more bandages. Gwen. To Morgana. You shouldn't be doing this. Morgana. It's exactly what I should be doing. Gaius. You need rest, Morgana. Morgana. And I'm likely to get it with all this going on. King's palace, main square. Gwen drag Arthur to save from the attack. Arthur. Guinevere. Gwen. Sire. Arthur. That thing could have killed you. Gwen throws herself on Arthur and puts him down. Gwen. And it still might. Sorry, sire. Arthur. No, my pleasure. King's palace, temporary ward. Gwen. I'll get you something to stop the bleeding. Arthur. Guinevere. I wanted to say, just, you always surprise me. Gwen. Is that it, sire? Arthur. That's it. Oh, and thank you. King's palace, temporary ward, Uther. Arthur. Arthur. It's nothing. Uther. Have we driven the creatures out? Arthur. They have control of the lower town. The market has been all but destroyed. Uther. How many dead? Arthur. Too many to number. Uther. I'm sealing the citadel. Arthur. You can't. Uther. I have no choice. I have to protect those who have a chance. If I don't, we will all fall. Where are you going? Arthur. There are people trapped on the drawbridge. Uther. I forbid you. Arthur. I'm not leaving them to die. Uther. It's suicide. Arthur. It's my duty to Camelot, and to myself. King's palace, temporary ward. Merlin, out of sight, calls Gaius. Merlin. Gaius. Gaius. What are you doing here? Merlin. I have to help Arthur. Gaius. Merlin. Sigan's power is far beyond yours. Merlin. I don't have a choice. Gaius. But Sigan is immortal and you are not. If you face him, he will destroy you. Merlin. But there must be a way. Gaius. There is only one alive who is old enough to give us the answers we need. Merlin. What do you mean? Gaius. The great dragon. Merlin. You knew that. That I used to visit him. Gaius. Yes, Merlin, of course I knew. You're a creature of magic, just as he is. I hoped that he could help you. Merlin. He helps no one but himself. Gaius. For Arthur's sake you must go to him now. Merlin. I can't. Gaius. We have no choice. King's palace, drawbridge. Many bodies are lying on the ground. Arthur, check for survivors. A creature attacks Arthur and his men. Arthur. On me. Charge. King's palace, dragon's cave. Merlin. Hello. Hello. Please, I need your help. Kulgara. You told me I would not see you again. Merlin. I'm not here for myself, I'm here for Arthur. Kulgara. Arthur's path lies with yours. You have made it clear that you do not walk in step with me. Merlin. You cannot want Cornelius Sigan to win. You're not evil. Kulgara. At least Sigan knows where his loyalties lie. You have shown that you do not. Merlin. So you will let Camelot fall? Kulgara. I did not say that. Merlin. Then you will help me. Kulgara. To defeat Sigan, you will need a spell more powerful than anything you know. Merlin. Please, I have to try. Kulgara. Very well. But you must give me something in return. Merlin. What? Kulgara. A promise. Merlin. A promise? Kulgara. That one day you will free me. Merlin. If I release you, what will you do? Kulgara. That is not your concern. Merlin. I don't trust you. Kulgara. Nevertheless, you must promise, or Camelot will fall. Merlin, I promise. Now, please, give me the spell. Kulgara, close your eyes and open your mind. Merlin close his eyes. Kulgara empower with his breath. Kulgara, few men have ever been gifted such knowledge. Use it wisely. Merlin, I will. Kulgara, you made a promise, young warlock, and one day I shall keep you to it. King's Palace, Drawbridge, Main Square. Sir Geraint, Arthur. Arthur, retreat. Regroup in the square. Arthur, Arthur. A creature stands between Arthur and his knights. Arthur, save yourselves. That's an order. Sir Geraint. Retreat. Retreat. King's Palace, temporary ward. Sir Geraint, seal the doors. Uther, where's Arthur? Where is he? You can't leave him out there, he'll be torn apart. Sir Geraint, you can't go out there, sire. If you open that door, you will die. We will all die. Uther, no. King's Palace, Main Square. Arthur is knocked unconscious by the creature. Merlin, Astrus. The creature explored. Merlin finds Arthur's body and encounters Sigan. Sigan, who would have believed it? You, a sorcerer, and a powerful one. Merlin, I won't let you hurt him, Sigan, and you're going to stop me. Merlin, I'll stop you. Sigan, he does not deserve your loyalty. He treats you like a slave. Merlin, that's not true. Sigan, he cast you aside without a moment's thought. Merlin, that doesn't matter. Sigan, but it must hurt so much to be so put upon, so overlooked, when all the while you have such power. Merlin, that's the way it has to be. Sigan, does it? You're young, Merlin. Look inside yourself. You have yet to discover your true power. I can help you. Think, Merlin. To have the world appreciate your greatness. To have Arthur know you for what you are.
Merlin, that can never be. Sigan, it can, if you join me. Together we can rule over this land. Arthur will tremble at your voice, he will kneel at your feet.
Merlin, I don't want that. Sigan, you'd rather be a servant. Merlin, better to serve a good man than to rule with an evil one. Sigan, so be it. If you will not join me, I will become you and your power will be harnessed to my will. Sigan's soul escapes from Cedric's body and tries to take Merlin's possession. Merlin, ik een sawol her belake, abide at I see a orliese. Merlin falls to the ground. His head begins to jerk and his eyes open and turn black. Gaius arrives and calls his apprentice, Gaius. Merlin. Merlin comes out of the fog. Gaius. Merlin. Gaius sees Merlin walk out of the mist. When Merlin gets in front of Gaius he smiles and holds up the jewel with Sigan's soul trapped inside. Gaius, well done, my boy. Merlin and Gaius hug. King's Palace, Council Chamber of Doom. Uther, we must learn our lessons from these terrible events, Gaius. Gaius, indeed, sire. Uther, they prove beyond doubt that I was right. Magic is evil. It is our greatest threat. I have grown complacent, Gaius. Gaius, I wouldn't say that, sire. Uther, we must renew our efforts. We must ensure that all sorcerers and their followers are eradicated from this kingdom. Gaius, of course, sire. King's Palace, Physician's Chambers. Gaius, you know, you won't get any thanks, Merlin. Merlin, I'm not a complete idiot. Gaius, there you go. It's not much, but you deserve something.
Knocking at the door. Arthur, I've come to see Merlin. I've not forgotten about your lazy, insolent ways, or the fact that you called me a clodpole, but I do have to admit that there was some truth in your accusations against Cedric. Merlin, does this mean you're admitting that in this occasion I was actually right? Arthur, not exactly, no. It means that I have a knighthood to bestow first thing tomorrow and no one to clean my armor. Merlin, all that. Arthur, yep, Arthur leave the room. Gaius lean towards Merlin. Gaius, Clotpole, Merlin look Gaius face, then the two watch Arthur and smile.